happening, y'all? This is your man Tedashii, and you are listening to my podcast, The Dash. I thank you so much for tuning in, for joining us, for jumping in and rocking with us. If you've already heard the other episodes, then you already know what we're about. If you haven't, I implore you to go check out season 1. But I got a new EP out, and it is called This Time Around 2. Season 1 was based on one of the singles from that EP called Mirror Talk, where I wanted to hold a mirror up to myself and to society, and we talk about it and think critically. And now I'm just basing it on the overall topic of Christian hip hop and just who we are as people, because I do want to help us think critically about ourselves and about the world around us. And so to help us do that, I have someone very special in the building right now. And so would you please, in your own way, give a huge welcome to The Dash, my sister, my homie, the one and only Alexis. Will you make some noise for Alexis Belton one time, please? Oh, the applause is going crazy. They're in here going crazy. All right. Alexis, how you doing, sis?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. So first off, I just got to say thank you for making this happen, because I heard you was kind of made aware of our desire to interview you with, is short notice the right word? Is that the right way to say it?
It was a dash.
It was a dash. Look at you. Look at you redeeming it and being kind as you are. So I love it. So first of all, I just want you to help people who may not know who you are learn who you are. Who are you? Where are you from? Tell us what you do.
Yeah, Alexis Belton from Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Louisiana or LA. Yeah. The best LA out there. Started off as a basketball player, transitioned into golf where the Lord had me. Played professional golf for the past 5 to 6 years. Also did professional long drive for 3 years, where I finished as number 1 American, number 3 in the world. And currently in a transition season. And so often people are like, what are you doing now? And I have to give the humbling answer of figuring it out. Okay. And I think always knowing what I was going to do, being honest of saying, I have a lot on my plate. But at the end of the day, I'm just kind of figuring it out. So what some of those things look like currently is we'll be an analyst for PGA Tour Live next year. As well as working on a startup with one of my best friends who also is transitioning out of golf. Basically, a company called Striking Gold, all about bridging gaps between organizations, people, and all the things, using our platform first and foremost with golf, and then kind of trickling outside of that eventually. And then I have a foundation called Belton Drive. So wearing a lot of hats right now and just trying to figure it out.
Wow. I mean, so basically you sleep 6 hours or less, because that is a lot.
6 hours is a lot. So yeah, definitely less.
What? Oh my goodness. I just imagine you saying all that and what a day for you looks like. Because clearly as an athlete, you're going to the gym. Clearly as a person who is in the public eye, you're around, you're in meetings, you're talking with people, you're prepping, you're dreaming and having vision casting moments. And then when you think about being the CEO of a startup or an investor in a startup, and then running your own foundation, I'm like, this baby don't sleep. She ain't got no rest. So when does rest or relaxation time happen for you?
Yeah, I think I'm learning that right now. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned, and actually someone spoke this word to me this past week, is that I'm not in a rush to get any of it done or be, at the top of all these things right now. I'm definitely in a learning phase. I'm definitely in a, dipping my toe in the water phase. And kind of the word that was spoken to me was just like listening equals discernment and wisdom equals movement. And so I'm just honestly taking a step back to just like wait and listen on the Lord and then move on that versus just like, I know I can get a lot of this done out of my own strength, but it'll be detrimental to my sleep, to my rest, to the people around me, to the people that are working with me. And so I think I'm just moving slowly is how I'm figuring out my rhythm of life right now.
That's a phenomenal answer. Because I asked that question because hopefully somebody who's listening who are trying to walk the journey you're currently walking in a similar way where they have so much on their plate, whether they're trying to start a new business. I mean, I feel like 2020 and the pandemic really did push a lot of people out into entrepreneurship because they couldn't go to work or they didn't have the means to be virtual for the job that they currently had. So they had to do something else besides working a gig. So it's like, okay, a lot of people are out here with their own thing now, but how do you manage that and still manage what you need as a person, as an individual? So that's a phenomenal answer. Can you say that one more time? Wisdom, and you said listening and
listening equals discernment. Listening equals discernment.
Yeah.
Wisdom equals movement. Go.
I'm processing that.
Yeah.
We'll say that again.
No, yeah. I said the Lord literally used someone to speak that over my life this past week.
That's amazing. That's powerful. I'm processing that because one of my mentors said to me years ago, I definitely felt the urge to just jump out and do stuff. And because in my mind, if I'm not doing it, then it's not real. But he was like, no. This already exists in God's plan for you. So it's as real as it needs to be for where you are now. Remember, if it's God's will, patience is an ally. It's never an enemy.
That's good.
And I was just like, what? I never thought about waiting especially living where we live in the West, and everything is put on a structure of time and timeliness. And you got to be here at this time and you got to be done by this time. And then we need it turned in by this time. And it's like, I'm inundated with this idea of being on someone else's schedule or getting it done in a way to where other people approve and fitting into a box of people's expectations when it comes to time or their definition of timeliness, only to look up and be like, God said, wait. I don't know what that means, but he said, wait. So here I am. And just realizing that's not an enemy. That's actually an ally in that situation. So yeah.
There's not a lot of bad that comes out of waiting.
Right. So
except for when I need to get my oil changed. That's I'm bad about that.
That's when it go way bad. So
and another thing, just like kind of even to speak on that, is something that I'm currently learning is I've always had a certain type of community in the new ventures that I've always done. Even thinking about from school, right? You have a teacher, you have parents, you transition to college, you have some sort of system that's there. I transitioned to golf. I had something. And so now that I'm in something totally different and trying to figure it out, I also need to be patient enough for community in these fields and then community as I'm kind of I'm in Atlanta now. But so, I think even the little things of allowing people to join you in what God's called you to do.
That's amazing. I love that. Man, you out here, you got all the nuggets. You got all the gems for people. That's dope. So I don't want to quickly leave golf because you laid out your story a tad bit for us. So how did you? I mean, you played professionally. You were part of the. Is it longest drive?
World Long Drive. Yeah.
World Long Drive. Okay, I wanted to say it right. Like, how did you even get into golf? Like, how did that become a thing? Because you said you was hooping, and then at some point, golf came about. Like, what happened with basketball?
Yeah, I played basketball my entire life. Honestly, I came to two things. I had a lot of concussions.
Okay.
And then I also wasn't putting in the effort that I normally did. So I kind of got a little burnt out. I had a scholarship to play at a D1 school. And then last minute, I had my health coach, it was like my sophomore year, asked me, hey, do you want to join the golf team? And I was like, no, that's for old white men and my dad. And so he was like, you get out of school all day. You get to pick your own outfits. Because I was also on the basketball court with my coach was like, Lex, sit like a dude, get the bow out your hair. And so he was like, you get to pick your own outfits and you get free food. And we were eating at the gas station. You know what I'm saying? Not even QT. We're eating T-Rex. Okay. And he said, free food. I said, what kind of free food? And he was like, Ruth's Chris. I said, bet. I will join the golf team.
What high school was this? I need to go back.
West Monroe. Ask them about it.
That's amazing. That's hard. So So basketball, you were already feeling burnt out to an extent, but that was kind of all you knew until this coach showed up to introduce golf into your world.
Yeah.
And you got to
And
live.
I had a little bit of experience with my dad because he played, and it was kind of a redemption. My dad played so much that he was addicted to it, and he gave it up. It was like golf for your family, so he gave it up. And so it was also this beautiful time to be able to invite him into something that he used to love.
Yeah, yeah. Now he's doing something he loves with the people he loves. Like that's powerful. You basically got to live kind of like an old white man, if you think about it, because you didn't have to go to work. You got to hang out and eat Ruth's Chris all day, hanging at the country club. Like that's all that TV shows us. I love that. That's amazing. As a high schooler, you had to get spoiled.
It was nice, although I didn't look like a white man, so I didn't feel all of that.
True. All right. I'll let that go then. So I know you graduated, you got to go to college, you played golf in college, and you won a championship, correct?
Yeah, I won PGA minority championship, and then won 2 other tournaments.
Okay. So what is the PGA minority championship? What is that?
Yeah, so it functions as PGA Works today, but basically it gives the opportunity for people that trying to make golf look diverse and giving that opportunity starting at the college level. Yeah. And they also have so many different programs. And so really kind of lowering the barrier for people that normally don't play the game.
Who is someone that you look up to that came before you? I'm learning. I'm like, who is that person?
Yeah, Renee Powell. She was one of the first 3 ever to play on the LPGA.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, she has like such a phenomenal story. And then looking at her and the path that she's created, even some of my friends that have played in the LPGA, like Mariah Stackhouse, Cheyenne Woods, Shasta Avery Hart, that are some around the same age, some a little bit older. And to see kind of what they've gone through and how they've shared a lot with me. And so, yeah, there's not a lot of women. I think there's only been 6 maybe. Who've
played professionally.
African-American women ever play on the LPGA.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, wow. Okay. I don't want to sound too shocked because I have an idea of golf as well of like, man, it's for old white men. So I agree with you. I've had that same thought over the years, but you're educating me, you're expanding my mind, and you're helping me think more critically about it, if you will. So I'm just like, okay, so Renee Powell, you said, that's the person have you met her before?
I've done a couple. Yes, I have. Yeah. Okay. Met her a couple of times. And then I've also done a couple of events with her, which has been awesome.
I was about to say, was that surreal?
Yeah. I actually, to be honest, no, because I didn't know of her until I got, until I started playing professional golf.
Got you. Okay.
And so even the lack of history is pretty sparse out there as far as diversity within the golf space. And so it was a surreal moment once I realized who she was.
Right. Okay. Sheesh. That is, inside, I'm feeling this excitement of learning who Renee Powell is. Now I'm like, I got to go read her story. I got to go find out what she did. How did she make this happen? She's one of 6. This is crazy. So I'll thank you for sharing that. That's so dope. What was the road looking like to go into professional golf? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I became an assistant coach for a year.
Okay.
I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a professional athlete on some level. Yeah. And so I did that. And then I started it was really difficult, right? I didn't know how to get into professional golf. I didn't have a traditional road that most girls did. And so I started playing a lot of mini tours. And then eventually I would go to Q school, and then I needed money to pay for Q school. And so I signed up for this thing called World Long Drive. Okay. And I sent an email to them. I said, hey, I see that it's World. So it was the biggest event of the year. Yeah. Can I sign up? And they said, yeah, sure. So I did that, and it was in Oklahoma.
So wait, what is Q school?
qualifying school. So
Okay.
it's a school you have to go through in order to get status to be a professional.
I'm a nerd. I thought you meant Q like line. Like I'm in Q. I was like, is that where you just get in and then they line you up and when you finish, they put you in line to go? Like I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so you had to pay for qualifying school.
Yes.
And then through that, you get a chance to join the tour. But you hit up World Long, help me, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's a world long drive. So I needed financing and I signed up for there. My thought process with that was like, if I come in top 8, I can afford Q school.
Oh, okay.
And so went and finished 3rd.
Wow. Well, now, when it says world, it means people from all over the world. Is that right?
All over the world.
Okay, yeah. I know golf is an international sport.
Yeah.
That's amazing. 3rd. Good Lord. Out of how many people?
I don't remember.
But not 3.
No, not three. Maybe like 20 something. I don't remember. Not 3.
It's all good. No, that's dope for real. So you mentioned golf. You talk about the things that you have going on. Help me. I'm telling you, I feel like God put this on my heart to talk to you about, at least to open the door for you to talk about it. Like, help me understand, what is your why for golf, for the foundation, for whatever you're about to do with the startup? Like, what is your why for what you're doing? Because you got a lot happening. And I mean, you're a pure athlete. Like, you could have played basketball D1, but you decided to do golf and you're successful at it. I'm like, yo, what? This just, I was going to do basketball, but I just switched to golf. It's cool. Like, I'm like, what? That's not nothing to just, look over and glance at. So out of all these things that you've accomplished and that you're planning to accomplish and that you're moving forward toward, what is your why in all of this?
Yeah, I think that's such a great question, because I think that's how I lead in everything that I currently do. And I would say my why now is definitely different than my why when I first started even basketball. I was raised in the church. When I went to college, it's kind of became more of my own, but also I thought that I had to become like a white evangelical in order to be the best Christian that I could be. And so identity had always been a thing for me. And I always thought that the Lord was going to use me in a mighty way. And so I thought that my calling was professional athlete, and that from there, the Lord would use me to do many things, right?
Right.
And working out of that kind of heart posture of more so, what is the Lord going to provide me so then I can do things for him, led me to kind of joining the tour, doing long drive, and being completely miserable.
Wow.
I can remember the first time, and then always kind of just like there was always this tension of me wanting to do service things. So every tournament, a lot of the tournaments that I went to, I would always contact a nonprofit, see if I could serve. We were at a place for a week. There was always a tension of me wanting to do entrepreneurship, but I needed to focus on golf, all the things. So I remember the first time that I won the first tour event for Long Drive, which was also my first tour event. I had no one there. And I hold up the trophy and I was like, cool, that's it. Like that's it. And a little part of me thought maybe my life would change. Maybe I could really start doing good work just on a massive level. Meanwhile, I'm getting my trophy. I have my bag. I have another bag. I'm carrying it to my rental car all by myself. The trophy falls. No one's helping me. I put it in the back of the trunk. And I just remember saying, like, I don't understand what's going on. And so because all I knew was golf and long drive, I continued to do it for so many years, thinking that it was a vehicle in order for me to do what God's called me to do. In essence, I didn't realize that that was not the case. And so I started kind of being more grateful of the opportunities that I had. And what that looked like was taking every opportunity that I could. And so the next event that I won was probably like a year afterwards. And it was a bizarre story. I'll tell it super quickly, but I I was in Wisconsin for a Epson Tour event, and then so golf tournament. While I'm there, I have an Airbnb with 2 other girls that are players. Walk in one night after our first round, a random man is just sleeping in my bed after we come home for dinner.
What?
I was like, what? And he apparently was a little bit,
he was out of it.
Had a couple of drinks.
Okay.
Put in a random code, got in, ate some of our food, fell asleep.
Wow.
We're freaked out.
Yeah.
Next night, we're sleeping on a sailboat. The next night, the next day, I play the round and I have to fly to Tennessee for a long drive event, which is kind of my life. Boom, 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 boom.
Back and forth.
Get on my connecting flight to Charlotte, get on the plane, and I'm going to get to Tennessee at 1 a.m. Oh. And I have to tee off the next day for a long drive event at 8 a.m.
Oh,
and so they go, hey guys, sorry, a bag caught on fire. And I'm like, oh my gosh, hope it's not my bag. Right. And then they're like, hey guys, sorry, the truck to kind of diffuse the fire has tipped over. I'm like, oh my gosh,
what? It's
going to be another hour. And then they go, sorry, someone's gotten a heart attack. We're going to cancel the flight.
Oh no.
Bizarre. I get off the flight. This random man standing there. He's like, you don't know me. I know you. We're going to the same place. I'm going to get a rental car. You want to ride? At this point, I'm like, whatever. It is,
right.
Is what it is.
Yeah, let's do it. Sure. Yeah.
Let's ride. And so he had a bag that said media on it. I said, you're probably legit.
Right.
We drive all night, both stay up. We get there at 5 a.m. I get an hour to sleep. They say a flight's going to come in with my bags, with my clubs. That morning at 7 a.m. The drive is an hour away. So I wake up, go to the airport. That flight was canceled. So thankfully I did catch that ride.
Yeah.
Get back. I'm wearing the same clothes I've been wearing for a couple of days. Borrow some of the girls that I'm competing with, their clubs, right?
Oh, wow. Make
it to finals for that afternoon. I have 2 hours to rest in between. And I was the biggest component of us partnering with a nonprofit, which was the Children's Hospital. And I, went there the year before. And so they're like, Lex, we know this is your thing. Do you want to come to the Children's Hospital? And I'm like, I literally have only had an hour of sleep. Are you kidding me?
Right.
But yeah, I'll go. So I go, meet this dope kid named Christian. He wants to be an artist. He draws a trophy on my hand. We chop it up, get back and compete, wind up winning the event.
And 2 hours
using
of sleep.
the girl who I was competing with, we were the final 2. I was using her club.
Yeah.
So I beat her with her own club. And then the trophy that I won was exactly like that kid's drawing. And so it was just a really surreal moment. And I say all that to say for a couple of reasons. My why changed at that point.
Okay.
My why wasn't about what I could do. I was so tired. I was so exhausted that I literally had to rely on the Lord's strength. And I had to do the things that I know that he's called me to do, which is simply love others, love him, love others, make disciples, right?
Yeah.
And so in that moment where I had an opportunity to gain self-strength, he provided strength to go on and love others, right?
Yeah.
And so out of that, it kind of stemmed. And then also that I needed community. I needed the other girls to borrow a club. I needed the other girls to have clothes, the little things. Right? So it wasn't a me win, it was a we win.
Yeah.
And I think from there, I kind of moved forward and pursued golf more. And I had this thought process of I want to make a difference.
Yeah.
And then all that to say, recently realizing that I'm not the vehicle. Golf's not the vehicle. And whatever gas that's put into it, the Lord can use anything for it.
Yeah.
And so I have a platform that I can use, yes, but it's not about what my calling is because it's simply our calling is love God, love others, make disciples. And from there, that is my why and everything that I'm doing from here on out. That
is phenomenal. I love that. That is phenomenal. Goodness gracious. So you have all of this going on, and that is kind of your North Star of watching what God is going to do as he is the one that's going to orchestrate it and fuel it, if you will. Yeah, I think sometimes, and I've heard it said this way, is in our search of figuring out our calling, we oftentimes are just searching to have less faith. Yeah.
Because if we know what we're going to do in the future, and if we know like what we're moving towards, then that means that we have no faith in where we are in the moment in the day.
But that is profound to me as someone who does work in a way that would propel you to constantly think about, God, what are you going to bring? How are you going to grow? What are you going to provide? And yet to be grounded in the present moment and to say, okay, God, you got me here now. What are you going to do with this is profound to me.
Or more so even, God, who are you?
Yeah.
Like who remind me of who you are so I can be diligent of where I'm at right now.
Be who you're meant to be in the moment. Remind me of you. Ooh.
Yeah.
Preaching, God, you preaching out here. That's powerful. So I see we have a friend that joined us in here right now. Did you take note of that?
Yeah, I did. I was like, do I call him his government name or?
Oh, that's hilarious. What's up with it? How you feeling, man?
Good. How are y'all?
Good.
What's up?
Do I call him his
Can you hear me?
government name? Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, we can hear you, bro. We can hear you. And so
Cool.
I basically wanted to bring both of you on because I wanted people to see after this episode ends with Alexis who the next guest would be for the next episode. So they get to get a sneak preview right now. And matter of fact, y'all know each other, right? Like y'all from the same area, from the same state. So it just kind of, it felt fitting because we had already planned to talk and then I got a chance to link with Alexis. So this is dope.
Yeah, for sure. Louisiana.
That's fine.
No, man. I remember like old concerts back in the day, all the things. It's so cool to see you now.
Hey, babe. Day one. Not saying it's been a minute, but shoot, still at it.
I love
Where are you located now? Are you in Louisiana still?
Yeah, I'm at home. I get married in 2 weeks.
Hey.
So I came home right before the wedding. So, focused on that. And then after that, probably got to get out of here.
So Alexis, before we close out, like I want you to give me now, like, how would you encourage someone to do the thing that you're doing now with in the moment, being in the moment and asking or seeking God for how you should be in the moment? Like, help me bring a little more clarity to that before we're done.
Yeah, I think discipline, like figuring out a rhythm of life.
Okay.
Because discipline equals freedom. And I feel like if I am that way with like the time spent with the Lord, if I'm that way in the things that I'm pursuing, if I am that way in all the things, then I have a lot of freedom to work in the manner that God's called us to work in.
Right.
And so as you were asking about rest, as you're asking about all the things, I think at the end of the day, figuring out a rhythm of life and how to be disciplined within that, finding a great community, and asking for help.
Because it's a we thing, not a me thing. It was a we win, not a me win.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. So before I let you go, like, tell me, I never asked, and I meant to earlier, and it just dawned on me now to do it here. You won the world's longest drive competition. What was the drive?
I don't know. I've never watched. I've never kept up with anything. I did realize I need to know how far my furthest drive is. So I think that's like 75. But
you don't know what the number is that you won with.
Nah.
Yo, you a rare breed. I love this. I am so excited to meet you. This is so dope. Yeah, I won. I beat her with her own club. What was the number? I mean, I don't know. I wasn't worried about that.
I had real quick. I had an interviewer ask me. They were like, "Hey, what do you have to do to beat so and so?" And I was like, "Hit it 1 yard further." Like you got to come with better questions. But essentially, that's like how you win. If you hit it the furthest.
Yo, I love this. This is amazing. Oh my goodness. So I see that both of you know each other, but the way you was talking, so you like day one, AHA fan or supporter, but you're like, you know Christian hip hop like that?
No, I don't. But I have been really strategic in trying to use Christian hip hop in majority of like any content that I do. Yeah. And I've always, like, when I first started Long Drive, they asked you to have a walkout song.
Okay.
And AHA's was like, I was like, okay. I gave them some of AHA's music.
Yeah.
And Golf Channel's like, nah, fam, we not that diverse yet. Cool, I'll just pick a country song. Yeah, I have always been a supporter of the people that I know, just because in general, like, I don't know, AHA has like such a great story, and then also like knowing his mom a little bit and his family and his brother, like, always trying to support and always trying to put it in somewhere. Not that he needs it, but like,
right. Nah, that's powerful.
I'm proud.
I need it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. For real. Thank you.
Maybe one day
I appreciate everything.
On the Golf Channel, but we'll work on it.
We're not that diverse yet. Yeah.
We'll work on
it. Yo. So what song did you pick? You said a country song?
Yeah, I think I picked this band called The New Respects.
Yeah, New Respects.
Yeah. So I picked some of their music because I was like, I feel like there's a little diversity. Yeah. It's not country. It worked. So
they the homies. I love them. They're great people. So they make great music too. So that's dope.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so funny. I just was like, I mean, did it go from AHA to Travis Tritt? I just was wondering. I was like, what happened? And they said, no pushback here. We want it. Let's go.
Actually, it was the music that I had. It was some of AHA's music, and it was a song called "I'm from Louisiana."
Yeah,
you probably know it. And both of them, especially I'm from Louisiana. They're like,
they was like, we can't do that. We ain't finna have that. So real quick, speaking of Louisiana, before you get out of here, Alexis, these are some random questions that I got for you because again, I grew up in Texas, but my family originated out of New Orleans, so I always love to go through. In New Orleans, who got the best gumbo? Because nobody in Atlanta makes gumbo right. I need to know who got the best gumbo.
My mama.
Dang, is she gonna make me some though?
Hey, my brother's in Baton Rouge, so I'll hook you up.
Okay, bet. There it is. I'm just like, I need to find somewhere I can find real.
I feel like AHA might say his mom too, so I don't know.
I actually don't want to toot my own horn.
Oh, wow. Okay.